Kleber looking in for Irving. Irving for the win!
Ah, man. What could have been, right? You see stuff like that, you're just like, what could have been, right? Kyrie Irving is a spectacular talent. And the way he's able to just be creative and finishing the basketball, scoring the basketball, shooting the basketball. I mean, there's the constant debate of is he the greatest ball handler ever? He's a spectacular talent. And it's just like the more you watch Kyrie Irving as a Laker fan, the more you're like, we were this close. I mean, there were several times during that Kyrie Irving saga where it was like, oh, it looks like we're going to get him. Kyrie even did an interview where he's wearing a Lakers shirt. It was crazy, the speculations and stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, the Lakers should have done whatever they could have. They tried. They did. They got to the point, the final offer was basically everything. It was Austin Reeves. It was all the picks that they had. It was everything. They tried to go get Kyrie Irving, but Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, said, we're not sending Kyrie where he wants to go. Find the next best offer, which turned out to be Dallas. Because it's just like, man, what would this team be if you had Kyrie Irving, right? Even if you just had LeBron, Kyrie, and Anthony Davis, just to be able to see that, you'd be good, right? Because LeBron and Kyrie work. The Anthony Davis situation would be an interesting element, who's 1, 2, or 3. But LeBron's kind of played backseat a little bit this season and kind of just picks and chooses his spots. So I think that they could have made it work. I think that they still can. We'll see in the offseason. Obviously, I just want to kind of have a fun conversation because it just, as soon as he hit that game winner, I was like, you could have been doing that for us, right? It's just disappointing to see Kyrie in another jersey when he could have been in a Laker jersey. But I don't necessarily want to reignite the Kyrie conversation too heavily, right? Not going to start making a bunch of videos about it, at least right now. We'll see what happens in the offseason. Because, there were reports going into this trade deadline that Kyrie could become available, that Dallas doesn't believe in the Kyrie-Luka combination, and that they may look to move off of Kyrie Irving and kind of retool in the offseason. If that's a possibility, that's great, right? There was also the reports that the Lakers are active and interested in trying to get that third star, that they're linked to Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, and Kyrie Irving. Obviously, where there's smoke, there's fire. But again, it's kind of like you've kind of gone down this road. So for me, it's kind of one of those things where I'll believe it when I see it. When I see Kyrie in a Laker jersey, even if they announce it, I'm still going to have my trepidations. I'm going to be like, whoa, is it going to be a Chris Paul situation? What are we going to do here, right? It's until I see him lacing up, getting out there and ready to light the world on fire with the Lakers, which would just be spectacular because he would just fit so many needs for the Lakers. His ability to play off ball, on ball, be a primary scorer for the Lakers would be massive. And look, I am of the camp of getting that third star. I know a lot of people are like, we need depth. We've gone the depth route. Doesn't work. It hasn't been working. Right? Look at all the top teams in the league. All of them are 6 guys deep. Boston has 6, maybe 7 on a good day. Right? Same thing with Denver. They have even less depth this year than they did last year. They are literally 5 guys, and then Brown has his moments here and there. Outside of that, it's what do you have? You look at teams like Phoenix, who could be a real threat. Dallas, who has moments where they look, spectacular. Right? They're not look at the teams that have substantial depth, and they still have struggles. They still have their problems. I just think it comes to the proper balance, right? If the Lakers were to get that third star, say Kyrie Irving, if you have the proper balance around everyone else, I think you'll be good, right? If you had, say, I'm just kind of using names, but say you had Kyrie, KCP, or somebody like that, even a Royce O'Neal, basically a legit 3-and-D point of attack style guard, right? You had somebody like that, and then had even Jared Vanderbilt at that point, I think could work because you have so much offense between Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And then if you have a 2 guard that can shoot the ball with some efficiency, right, then I think you'd be in good shape. Where Jared Vanderbilt's kind of whatever offense he gives you is just add-on, right? It's just the cherry on top of the cake, or ice cream, whatever you want to put it. But I just think getting a third star at this point it's necessary, right? They need somebody that can handle the offensive workload game in and game out, right? LeBron and Anthony Davis can have the impact. I mean, they're still LeBron and AD, right? They still have spectacular moments and stats and whatnot, but we need somebody that can control and consistently go out there and just dominate and basically fill in the gaps, right? Like, you see at times D'Lo will do that, and the Lakers have great success. Problem is, like, as great as D'Lo's been this year, and I love D'Lo, I would love to keep D'Lo. Like, if we could get a Donovan Mitchell, keep D'Angelo Russell. Like, have D'Lo, Mitchell, Vanderbilt, LeBron, and AD, and let's go win a championship, right? But again, when we get closer to the offseason and the time comes to kind of talk over all the potential trades and all the rumors and speculations, we'll dive into it more. But just sticking with kind of the conversation for the three stars is that, like, you know, with D'Angelo Russell, as great as he can be at times, he's not a superstar. You know, he's not even really a star, right? Like, he is a perfect complementary third, fourth guy. His ability to play on ball, his ability to play off ball, right? Like, I think in the right situation, he is spectacular. But you see games where he'll have a bad game and he's like 4 of 15 and has, like, you know, 8 points or 11 points, and you're just like, dang, man, like, we need that, right? We need him to be more consistent. Austin Reeves is another great example, right? There's games where he's brilliant, and you're like, man, this guy is amazing. But then he kind of has those games like the other night where he's like 4 of 12 or whatever it is, and, you know, 11 points. And it's like, we need that consistent go-to guy. The difference between a role guy or, you know, even just like a star to superstar, all-star level player is the level of consistency, right? The higher the scale, the more consistent the player is. You look at somebody like a Kyrie Irving, even a bad game. He has bad games. He's had games where he's, you know, 7 of 25, and you're just like, God. But it's the impact. It's the constant threat, right? It's the way that he can control and dictate a game is unlike anything that a D'Lo or an Austin Reeves can do. Like, there are times where, like, teams will just completely let Austin Reeves shoot. Like, and he, you know, he can be hot and they'll just kind of live with it. Like, if he goes off for 30, then let him go off for 30. You can't do that with a Kyrie Irving, right? Like, there's games where they're like, kind of, you'll see teams, hey, let's pack the paint, let's make all their other guys beat us. And if their other guys beat us, then so be it, right? But if you have a Kyrie Irving, you can't do that. Because it's like, Kyrie will beat you. You just give Kyrie a bunch of wide open shots. Guess what? He is going to make you pay. You're going to let him go one-on-one the whole game? Guess what? He is going to make you pay. He's going to put you in that spin cycle. He's going to have his way with you, right? Like, that's the difference between a star. And you can still have manageable depth, right? It's just kind of getting through the season. And then once you get to the playoffs, you're only running 6, 7, 8 guys anyway. Like, you're not running heavy. You're not going 12 deep like you would be in the regular season. So to me, it's like, if we had Kyrie this year, we would be great shape, especially the way LeBron and Anthony Davis have been pretty healthy this season, right? I know Anthony Davis is kind of dealing with the eye contusion. We'll see how that goes with him. You know, LeBron's missed a handful of games, but it's literally only been like a handful of games, right? You add in a guy like a Kyrie Irving, if they can replicate that next year, I mean, the sky's the limit for the Lakers at that point. Because, again, it's the consistency. What's one of the biggest problems the Lakers have this season? Lack of consistency. Lack of guys showing up. And yes, Kyrie doesn't necessarily help with the defensive side, but he would keep you in games and keep you down the stretch more frequently to where you'd win some of those games that were kind of coin flips where it was just like, we just didn't have it that night or whatever, right? And then his constant impact. Also, the way teams have to approach it, the level of defense that they got to put on him, right? Like, the way that they got to operate on both sides of the basketball just completely changes, right? You still need to have that balance. That's why, like, you know, like, let's say we had Kyrie this year. Like, if you have Kyrie, LeBron, and AD, I wouldn't even care if it was like Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt, like, if healthy. It's like, I know that they can't really shoot or score, but with Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, you have so much firepower. Good luck. And you have such an inside-out game, like, good luck. Like, you can make the little changes accordingly throughout, but it's just, to get a guy like that, like a Kyrie Irving, would just be spectacular. But, I mean, obviously there's other options out there. You know, we'll see Donovan Mitchell Right? Like there are reports that it's either the Lakers or the Knicks. If the Knicks want him, he's a Knick. But if they go, hey, you know, we got Brunson, we got all these other things, like let's go a different direction or wait for a bigger fish than Donovan Mitchell or a better fit beyond Donovan Mitchell, then it, again, based on reports, so take it with a grain of salt, but supposedly he may end up heading to the Lakers. And that's what the Lakers really believe. The Lakers believe that the Knicks are going to bow out of the Donovan Mitchell situation and then they'll land Donovan Mitchell. Like, if they get a Donovan Mitchell, it's worth it. If they get a Kyrie Irving, it's worth it. Trae Young, I know some people are kind of hot and cold on that. Me personally, I like Trae, but it's for me with Trae, it's one of those things like I'd have to see, because he's just so high usage on ball, right? Like, is he going to be able to make the proper adjustments playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis? When LeBron leaves, I think it would be fine, because you can kind of put the ball in Trae Young's hands and let him be Trae, right? Where it's like with him and LeBron, like how much is he going to really be able to be Trae? He's not a super efficient a scorer. He's very undersized, the lack of defense. Like Donovan Mitchell has been like all NBA defensive great this season. Like he's been very good this season. Kyrie, obviously, defensive purposes, he's not great, but he's somebody that can hold his own when he's locked in and engaged. And at that point, again, you just need to kind of balance out the rest of the roster. So I don't know. I'm big on the 3-star, depending on the star, right? Like, you can't just get somebody just to get somebody. It has to be the right fit. It has to make the right sense, right? Can't just be a name on the back of the jersey. But, I would, in all honesty, Donovan Mitchell might be the better option over Kyrie, just because, age and Donovan Mitchell's ability to play both sides of the basketball. But part of it for me is kind of like the one that got away, right? Like, it's kind of like part of it is like, man, I really want to see Kyrie in a Laker jersey. But anyway, I just wanted just a fun conversation. It's nothing serious. I just wanted to talk about Kyrie. When I saw him hit that game winner, I was like, I gotta make a video. Like, let's talk about this. Like, it's heartbreaking. Like, I was like, oh, please let me hit my life alert. Like, it's just like, oh, it's tough. But how do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Do you feel like, the one that got away? Do you want a 3rd star? Do you not want a 3rd star? Do you think we should go depth route? Maybe upgraded depth? Problem is, it's just like every year, it's like who are those pieces? Right, like the Lakers this offseason basically got everyone you could ask for. And it's like next season, it's like who's gonna really be an upgrade? Right? Like to me, it's like get the 3rd star and figure it out. Plus post LeBron, that gives you at least 2 stars to kind of run with. I just think that's the best approach. But do you feel the same way? If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. That's when you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.